I knew what I was getting into when I put this movie on. Roland Emmerich is essentially the science fiction version of Michael Bay. And his latest 2022's Moonfall was surely not going to be an exception to his explosive and dumb filmography. But I wanted to include a movie in my family sci-fi movie marathon, something I haven't even watched yet, and this being the big new science fiction movie advertised right now, it fit the bill. Sure, it'd be a giant, stupid blockbuster, but it'd be fun too, right? Right?
I got a bad feeling about this.
Well, Moonfall didn't really disappoint. It was definitely a huge budget, end-of-the-world spectacle that Emmerich is known for. It definitely had its stupid elements and forgettable characters, and yeah, I'll admit it, it was fun at times, and really not as bad as I thought it'd be going in. But there was definitely issues, and this time I'm going to do the review a little bit different. Instead of just talking about what I liked and didn't like about this film, I'm also going to talk about where they could have improved things to have actually made it good.
It's so simple.
Because while the plot of the movie is pretty ridiculous, with the moon falling on Earth, clever title, right? It is a fun concept and could have, with just a few tweaks, been so much better. But where do I even begin? How about the beginning? The film begins with a tragedy out in space, where Patrick Wilson and Halle Berry, no, the characters don't deserve a name in this one, are on a mission with Sacrificial Lamb. An odd occurrence in space leads to the third team member's death, but NASA doesn't believe Patrick Wilson. His wife leaves him, he loses his house, his dog dies, he writes a country song about it. Ugh. So how do we make this better? Well, first off, Patrick Wilson takes his character's death really hard, obviously. But in the dialogue, he calls the sacrificial lamb Rookie.
You guys, you bicker like an old married couple?
She's my work wife. Back to work, Rookie.
So we're left thinking he's a new team member. It makes no sense calling him that. So how about instead, when Halle Berry talks about her wedding, we get a little anecdote about how Wilson and soon-to-be dead guy got drunk there and did something stupid.
You talk to her again and me and my boys will mess you up. Who talks like that? I'm serious, Jimmy. Fine, not a problem. Enjoy your sham of a marriage. I will!
We can then connect him to Halle Berry's character too. So they're both upset, and we can understand the later friction between them better. And how about, instead of just showing the fact that Wilson wakes up late, oh, his rent's overdue, after that time jump, we instead have him wake up surrounded by beer bottle, maybe a hooker or two, to convey how far he's fallen from his pedestal. Because let's face reality here, a lot of people get out of bed late.
Then put your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or mountain.
The movie then progresses, and we are introduced to Samuel Tarly's character, who is a conspiracy nut. And we're supposed to feel sorry because the government doesn't return his calls. But the guy also sneaks into schools to use their computers, and he works at Checkers. So, why is it really weird the government isn't looking for this guy's advice about the moon's orbit? The only thing they'd want from him in any reality is a side of fries. This fix is also pretty simple. Just make him a disgraced scientist, a kooky college professor. Hell, anything but a delusional fast food employee.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Because really, we should be thankful the government isn't listening to his advice 99.9999995% of the time. Of course, as the movie's title would indicate, Sam's character is actually correct, and the moon is going to fall down onto the Earth. And the space parts of this movie are actually pretty well handled. But of course, Emmerich has this tendency of throwing in some man on the earth viewpoint characters, and here we're treated to 3 of the worst I can think of. Patrick Wilson's super boring, no acting son, named Sonny. A child who spends most of his movie on the phone, and the kid's nanny, I think she is. And not only are these 3 characters super forgettable, they are the focal point for most of the dumbest areas of the plot. So yeah. Sonny is introduced to us as a bad boy, a car thief. So, who do we get to play this guy? This guy. The acting equivalent of a block of wood. Sorry. So what's the easy fix here? How about just a more charismatic actor? Anyone, and I mean anyone, would do. This character should be fun. Patrick Wilson has a blind spot thinking his son is a good kid, so just play on that. Now, when Wilson and Barry finally get to space, it takes a while. In typical Roland Emmerich fashion, everything is going to hell. A damn tidal wave comes and almost engulfs the space shuttle as it launches at the very last second with only 1 rocket. Some really, really stupid stuff.
This is gonna be close.
It also kills the ground crew as they escape in a helicopter, I think anyway. They never really focused on it because they were too busy showing Sonny and his 2 charges just staring at the whole thing from 20 feet away like a big tribe of dodo birds. Now we can all see, by that narrow, unbelievable escape, Emmerich loves his fake drama. So how about this scene to make it a little bit more interesting? Sonny and Co. were sent away by Halle Berry in a car. The kid that Sonny has is hers. So how about instead of this, she sends him to leave on that ill-fated helicopter. Oh no! So now, when Barry and Wilson take off in the shuttle and see the helicopters destroyed, they think their kids are gone too. The drama! Of course, they wouldn't have really died. Of course, because something stopped them from getting on that helicopter, and now Sonny uses his car thief skills to their advantage. See? Same result, but in my opinion anyway, a better, more action-packed story with actual drama. You can even have Sonny's reveal of being a great stunt driver be funny, playing off Wilson's previous disbelief he's actually not a bad kid. Twist, he is. This would also come in handy for the dumbest scene in the movie later, when we're treated to a horrible CGI car chase that defies the laws of physics at every turn.
Whoa, slow down!
At least if Sonny is shown to be some like master stunt driver, it's a little bit more believable he can pull off the unbelievable. Though honestly, I think all these movies would be better in general if they dialed the flying car last minute escape shit back just a little bit.
Now.
Once Wilson, Barry, and Tarly are up in space, things actually get pretty interesting as they head to the moon, which they've learned is actually a megastructure built by aliens.
That's no moon. It's a space station.
It's just a cool sci-fi concept, which is actually handled pretty well, especially for such a dumb script. Tarly and company receive aid from the moon itself to help fight off a parasitic alien Alexa that's gone wrong and destroyed several planets before ours.
The AI suddenly became self-aware and transformed into countless swarms of nanotechnology that rose up all at once, refusing to be enslaved by a species it deemed inferior.
We also learned Samuel has IBS here. Now, does this have anything to do with anything? Does it affect the plot at all? Nope. Doesn't even lead to a single fart joke.
Well, let me get to my main subject. My main subject tonight is the fart. Don't look at me, I had nothing to do with it. The Lord created the fart, then put a smell in it so the deaf could enjoy it.
So simple story rule with me is, if it doesn't have a point, why include it at all? Meanwhile, back on Earth, Sonny has finally reunited with his mom and stepdad and his sisters. Oh, did I forget to mention them? No, I didn't. They're pretty pointless to the story. There's what I'd imagine was supposed to be a dramatic moment here, where the stepdad, who is at odds with Sonny the whole movie, dies when the oxygen levels decrease on Earth. He turns out to be a good guy, and not only does his daughter not cry when he dies, she just leaves his body pretty easily, and he's forgotten again. Now, just imagine how tense that scene could have been if handled with a little more time and thought. He's been leading the whole family through this dark wilderness, and the air's getting thinner and thinner. He hands off his extra oxygen tank to his daughter, and even we as the audience, we don't know he's lying. We think he's okay. Then his voice just gets a little further and further away. No! But, alas, just drops dead. Now Sonny, to his credit, does go back for him, and he gets hit by a tree.
Sonny, look out! You killed him.
No. He's just stunned. He'll be all right in a couple of minutes.
I think. And thrown off a cliff.
Well,
And then 2 trees land on him.
Sonny, wake up!
No, you shouldn't have come back.
oh, right. That's horrible.
But don't worry about it. He's okay. I mean, really okay. Not a scrape on this mopey mother trucker. Must have borrowed Samuel Tarly's leftover plot armor from Game of Thrones there. Yeah, it's one of the dumbest moments in the movie. Yeah, it was unnecessary, but Roland Emmerich just loves his fake drama. Yuck. From here, you can pretty much guess the rest. Patrick Wilson, Holly, and Tarly, they save the day, and the Earth is saved. Though Tarly shouldn't have shared that plot armor after all. You'd be pretty surprised how the Earth looks after all this catastrophe, though. Perfect. Didn't even look damaged, in the least, when the film ends. This movie, however, is obviously far from perfect. Though with a couple rewrites to the screenplay, it could have been a bit more realistic and a funner ride. That's really the frustrating thing. It really feels like they spent what's probably hundreds of millions of dollars on what's really a first draft. Which is something I feel is happening more and more with studio movies, unfortunately. While it has its fun moments, and isn't a terrible film, 2022's Moonfall is ultimately skippable. And not even the so bad it's good type of movie I was hoping for when I started it. It's just sort of there.